Briefly, our organization was established in 1982 at a time when apartheid was actually very ripe. People were forcefully removed through various pieces of legislations from their land. And therefore, BRC's existence was to assist communities to resist the forced removals during the apartheid era. Then BRC changed or evolved into a rural development organization. It had its focus on land reform, specifically land restitution. And this we felt that it was important because we were dealing with forced removals, and therefore now there was time for people to be compensated for being forcefully removed and lose their land rights during the time of the apartheid. So that was very strategic and important for BRC to pursue that piece of work. BRC also felt that as people are acquiring land, then they must productively use the land. And then we were involved in rural development with a focus on agricultural development, tourism, forestry, and environment. In summary, BRC is a rural development organization. It's an organization that advocates for human rights. It's operating in the rural areas. It focuses on policy formulation and also implementing projects that would lead to local economic development and creation of employment in the rural areas.
In December 2019, the Chinese government notified the world that a new virus was spreading through their communities. In the following months, it spread very quickly to other countries, with the number of cases doubling within days. This virus is known as the Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome-related Coronavirus 2 that causes the disease COVID-19, but everyone simply calls it coronavirus. What happens when it infects a person, and what should we all do? Viruses are microscopic organisms that exist almost everywhere on Earth. They can infect animals, plants, fungi, and even other germs. Once a virus infects a host, it tricks the host cells into producing more of the virus. The coronavirus spreads via the surfaces of objects, such as store goods on shelves, money, and kitchen utensils. But mainly it spreads by droplet infection when people cough or sneeze near each other. The virus enters your body through your eyes, nose, or mouth and moves into the digestive system or lungs, where it will have the most dangerous effect. Once the virus attaches to the lungs, it gives instructions to the cells to begin reproducing the virus over and over again until the cell is full and breaks apart. This releases new coronavirus particles to attack even more cells. After 10 days, millions of the body's cells are infected. The infection can be so bad that it can cause permanent damage, leading to lifelong disabilities. Severe infections leave the lungs' protective lining destroyed, leaving them vulnerable to infection from bacteria that is not normally a problem. Patients get pneumonia, breathing becomes difficult, and patients need ventilators to survive. The majority of people infected will get through it with mild symptoms, though it is particularly dangerous for people over 60 and patients with pre-existing conditions or weakened immune systems. In most cases, the immune system regains control and kills the virus for recovery to begin. The current COVID-19 outbreak has provoked social stigma and discriminatory behaviors against people perceived to have been in contact with the virus. It is important to note that just because a person has flu symptoms, it does not mean they have the virus. We should, however, remain cautious and encourage each other to get tested. There are two futures for a pandemic like corona: fast or slow. Which futures we will have depends on how we react to it. A fast pandemic will be very destructive and cost many lives, as healthcare workers and systems will not be able to keep up with the rate of infections. To avoid a fast pandemic, the world, all of us, will need to respond by changing our social behavior. This is to ensure that we do not get infected and we do not infect others. The best thing you can do is to simply wash your hands. Soap and sanitizers are powerful tools. Coronavirus is encased in a layer of fat. Soap dissolves that fat and leaves it unable to infect you. Through the motions of washing, viruses are also stripped away. Next, we have to practice social distancing, which is not a nice experience, but a good thing to do. This means no hugging, no handshakes, maintaining a 2-meter distance from people not of your household, and wearing a mask in public. If you can stay at home, then stay at home to protect those who need to be out for society to function. From doctors to cashiers or police officers, they depend on us not to get sick, as we depend on all of them. This is why quarantine and lockdowns took place, to turn a would-be fast pandemic into a slow one that a vast majority of us could survive. How a pandemic ends depends on how it starts and how we react to it. If they start fast with a quick rate of infection, they end very badly, with many losing their lives. If the rate of infection is slowed down by communities practicing the prescribed safety measures, more people will be saved by our simple actions. In this day and age, it really is in all of our hands.